Right off the top, let's be honest. Most travelers never hear about their travel rights. But for seniors, and especially anyone 60, 65, or older, there are 13 powerful rights that airlines almost never mention. And not because they don't exist, but because acknowledging them means extra work, extra time, and sometimes extra cost on their side. But once you know these rights and how to confidently claim them, flying becomes easier, calmer, and in many cases, way more comfortable. Today, I'm going to walk you through each one, not as a lawyer or a policy nerd, but like a friend who's been on the road long enough to know exactly what airlines hope you don't notice. And by the end of this video, you'll know the kinds of things seniors can quietly ask for, the things that can turn a long day of travel into something surprisingly smooth. Let's get into it. Right number one, the right to priority seating without paying extra. Most people think priority seating is only for those who buy upgrades, have elite status, or pay the extra fee at booking. But there's an overlooked group airlines often quietly accommodate: older travelers who need seats that are easier to access, especially on long flights. If you're over 60 or 65, depending on the airline, you can request bulkhead seating, aisle seats, or seats near the front of the plane without being treated like you're asking for an upgrade. Now, airlines won't advertise this because once passengers realize that age qualifies as a legitimate comfort and accessibility need, that could mean hundreds of requests every day. But gate agents are trained to create reasonable accommodation for older travelers, which includes seating adjustments. And here's the best part. You don't need to make it dramatic, and you don't need to prove anything. You simply say, I'm a senior traveler and I need a seat that's easier to access. Are there any priority or aisle seats available? You would be surprised how often they say yes, especially in the last 20 minutes before boarding. And if that surprised you, wait until you hear the next one, because this one is even better. Right number two, the right to assistance through security. No questions asked. This is a right almost no senior uses: airport security assistance. Whether it's a long line, a deep bending requirement for shoes, or carrying bins, TSA and most global security agencies actually provide guided screening for seniors. You can ask for assistance at the beginning of the checkpoint, and officers are trained to help you without rushing or pressuring you. You can also ask for a private screening if that feels more comfortable. More importantly, seniors are allowed modified screening. That includes not removing shoes in many countries, not removing light jackets, not standing with hands over your head if mobility is limited. Security isn't supposed to treat older travelers like everyone else. But because they're moving fast, they don't always tell you your options. Sometimes all it takes is saying, I need assisted or modified screening. I'm a senior traveler. And this next right connects to that, but gives you even more breathing room. Right number three, the right to early boarding, even if you didn't pay for it. Every airline has early boarding, but what most travelers don't know is that seniors qualify under the same category as passengers who need extra time. You don't need a wheelchair. You don't need a medical note. You don't need to prove anything. If you're 60 plus or 65 plus, you can request early boarding to avoid crowds. Take your time walking the jet bridge. Settle into your seat without pressure. Airlines don't put this on the boarding card. They don't announce it with the same enthusiasm as Group 1, Group 2, but it exists because legally they must allow boarding accommodation for those who need it. Just walk to the gate counter and say, I'm a senior traveler and I need extra time boarding. This one right, used consistently, can reduce your stress more than almost anything else on this list. And speaking of reducing stress, right number four, the right to have medications carried or handled separately. Here's something most people never hear. If you have medications, supplements, or medical devices, airport and airline staff must treat them with priority. That includes letting you keep medications in your carry-on, never check them, allowing insulated bags or cool packs, allowing liquids over 3 ounces if medically required, handling medically necessary devices with care. Airlines don't highlight this because they know people will overuse it, but it's real. And senior travelers, especially those with chronic conditions, get even more flexibility. Imagine how much of stress this removes on a long travel day, knowing no one can force your medication into checked baggage, and security can't confiscate properly declared medical liquids. If you've ever worried about this right alone is a game changer. But the next one? Almost no one over 60 realizes they can ask for it. Right number 5, the right to wheelchair assistance. Even if you don't normally use one. This isn't about disability. This isn't about being unable to walk. This is about energy conservation. And that's exactly how the law describes it. Any senior traveler can request wheelchair service for long airport distances, stress reduction, avoiding standing in long lines, saving stamina for the flight, and airlines must provide it for free. They can't charge, they can't question your reason, they can't require proof. The wheelchair service also often includes a dedicated escort, priority immigration, faster security lanes, early boarding, baggage assistance. Some seniors use this once and never travel without it again because it transforms the entire experience. And if that blew your mind, wait until you hear the right that even airline agents sometimes forget exists. Right number 6, the right to request a free seat change if you feel unsafe or uncomfortable. This right is buried in airline policy manuals, not public websites. Anyone who feels unsafe due to mobility, comfort, or seat partner issues can ask to be reseated. And seniors get priority for this. Airlines want to avoid risk. If a senior traveler feels crowded, squeezed, or at risk of being bumped repeatedly during a long flight, agents will try to fix it. This can mean moving you to an aisle seat, shifting another passenger, even relocating you to a premium seat if that's the only open space left. The key is asking early, ideally at the gate. If you've ever been placed next to a loud, sick, or extremely fidgety passenger, you are not stuck. Now, before we get to the next one, which is my personal favorite, let me take 10 seconds to say this. If you love uncovering hidden travel perks like these, make sure you're subscribed to Boardifly, because this channel is built for seniors and travelers who want to fly smarter, not just cheaper. All right, let's get back into it. Right number 7, the right to bring a companion through security in special cases. This one is rarely mentioned out loud because airports worry it'll open the floodgates. Seniors can request for a companion to escort them through security to the gate. Airports use something called a gate pass or escort pass. It lets a family member or friend help with bags, help navigate security, walk with you to the gate, keep you company until boarding. While airlines don't advertise this, they issue these passes every day for children, disabled passengers, and, yes, older adults. Some agents will say no if they're rushed or unclear on the policy, but if you ask calmly and clearly, it's surprisingly common to get approved. And if you think that's generous, just wait until you hear what happens if your flight gets delayed. Right number 8, the right to compensation when delays hit harder for seniors. Airlines don't want you to know this because it costs them money. Compensation rules apply more generously to seniors, especially when a delay affects medication schedules, physical comfort, or connection times. If a long delay could create a medical or safety issue, airlines often rebook you for free, waive change fees, offer meal vouchers, provide hotel accommodations on overnight delays, give you priority on the next available flight. You don't need to act helpless. You simply need to explain the issue clearly. I'm a senior traveler and this delay affects my medication schedule. I need rebooking assistance. What airlines fear most is a situation where they refuse to help and something went wrong, which means seniors get prioritized far more often than people realize. This next right ties into that, and it's even more powerful. Right number 9, the right to assistance during tight connections. If you're connecting through a large airport, you are not supposed to sprint. You are not supposed to risk missing a flight. You are not supposed to hurry Seniors automatically qualify for assistance during short or stressful layovers. That can include a golf cart, a wheelchair escort, priority transfer lanes, personal assistance at the connection point. Most travelers don't know this exists, so they miss their flights. But airlines are trained to prevent seniors from being put into unsafe or rushed situations. Once you request it, they flag your reservation so the connecting airport is already expecting you. But let's go deeper, because this next right is one of the airline industry's quietest secrets. Right number 10, the right to bring food and liquid for medical or dietary needs. TSA allows medically necessary liquids. Airlines allow medically necessary meals. But almost no one knows that dietary restrictions tied to age or health are considered just as valid. That means seniors can bring homemade meals, nutritional drinks, liquid supplements, gel food, extra water, when declared properly. Just tell the security officer it's dietary or medical. Both fall under the same exemption category. Airlines don't mention this because they want you to buy expensive airport food. But you're allowed to bring what you need, especially if airport or in-flight options don't meet your dietary requirements. But the next right, this one shocks people the most. Right number 11, the right to ask for a second safety demonstration or assistance. Seniors have the right to ask for a slower explanation, a repeated safety demo, help understanding seatbelt operation, clarification on oxygen masks or life vests. Flight attendants are required, not encouraged but required, to make sure every passenger understands safety procedures. If you need a more detailed walkthrough, especially on long-haul flights, they must provide it. This is one of the airline's biggest fears, a safety misunderstanding mid-flight. So they take senior requests very seriously. And speaking of taking things seriously, right number 12, the right to have bags retrieved or lifted for you. You do not need to lift your bag overhead. You do not need to twist your back or shoulders. You do not need to risk injury. Flight attendants can't physically lift bags for liability reasons, but they are trained to assist, position, or stabilize bags for seniors. Even more importantly, gate staff and cabin crew can bring your carry-on down, help remove it from tight spaces, assist in checking it at the gate for free. If your bag is too heavy or awkward, just say, "I'm a senior traveler. Can I have assistance with my carry-on?" You do not need to lift anything above your head if it feels unsafe. And now the final right, one that almost no senior uses, but every senior should. Right number 13, the right to ask for a seat near the lavatory on long flights. This is a quiet, unpublicized right that gate agents use internally. Seniors, especially those with medical, hydration, or mobility needs, can request seats near the restroom on long-haul flights. This isn't considered an upgrade. It's considered comfort accommodation, and airlines comply because it reduces in-flight disturbances. On long flights, 6, 8, 12 hours, this can completely change the experience. Just imagine, no squeezing past rows, no long aisle walks, no stressing mid-flight, no waiting until the aisle is clear. It's one of the simplest but most impactful rights older travelers can use. If you've ever felt like travel has gotten more stressful with age, here's the truth. It's not because you're asking for too much. It's because airlines rarely tell you what you're already entitled to. But now you know. You know the quiet requests that make flights easier. You know the phrases that open doors. And you know the rights that transform travel from exhausting to completely manageable. Here's your master mindset moving forward. I'm not asking for special treatment. I'm asking for safe and reasonable accommodation. Use these rights at check-in, at the gate, during boarding, mid-flight, during delays, at connections. And here's my question for you. What's the best perk or surprise help you've ever received while flying? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more insider travel intel just like this, subscribe to Boardifly, where we help seniors and smart travelers fly with confidence, comfort, and clarity. Until next time, fly smarter.